What's up, my people? Before we start the show, make sure you like the video, comment on the commentary, and subscribe to the channel. Become a part of the GVG family, because without you, there's no us. And as always, we thank you, and all praises to the Most High. Now let's get into it.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Hally back again. Gvg Podcast, East Side in the building. Detroit representative to the day that I die. You know how we do, man. Monster Gang representative. Let's go. Let's get into it. The true God versus the little gods and deities that we worship instead of him. Episodes dropping every Thursday, man. Let's go. Today we're going to be talking about, is America serving a different God than they portray? Part 1. Is America serving a different God than they portray? This is going to be a short video. It's part 1. Part 2 is going to dive a little deeper. This is just going to be an introduction. But I'm going to read my points off the phone like I always do. And then I'm going to go off the fly. It's your boy Hally. Let's do it. We know that there are an unlimited number of imitation gods and little gods that are not the real God. We know that there are unlimited numbers of imitation gods and little gods that are not the real God, the Most High, Ahaya. I think that goes over people's heads. What do you mean by imitation God, Hally? Anything that takes the place of the Most High, or tries to take the place, because you can never take the place of the Most High. But anything that tries to take the place of the Most High. Some people do it inadvertently, some people don't. But Beyonce, LeBron James, Kim Kardashian, those are examples of human idols. We have idols, right? We have money, fame, vanity, horoscopes, lottery. We have those types of gods. Then we have the myths, the Thors, the Hercules. You know, those are the gods who have power over certain things. And then we have the low level of our husbands, our wives, our kids. Just certain things that we do on an everyday basis where we make that our God. We idolize things, we worship things more than we worship the Most High. We put them in the place of the Most High. He will let you do it because you have free will, but it doesn't mean that it's right. Okay. So for centuries, for millennia, we have worshiped and idolized deities and false gods. The biggest one would be Satan, Sataniel, the devil. There's a bunch of different names. Lucifer. My deeper guys, I know they have more names for him. The fallen angels. Worshipping fallen angels. Worshipping false gods. Worshipping deities. Worshipping pagan deities. Worshipping Egyptian deities. Nimrod, and Babylon, and Mesopotamia. It goes all the way back to those. All the way to the new things that we worship. We have put those things in the place of the Most High God because it fits our heart. It fits our narrative. It fits our walk. It fits our sanity. So therefore, we will put those things in the place of the Most High because it just feels better. It feels better to worship something that makes me feel good than something that convicts me. Feels better to worship something that will affirm me as opposed to telling me I need to work on myself. And this is our day-to-day lives. And I'm not telling you I'm perfect. I'm not telling you that you need to be perfect. I'm just opening the eyelid to let you know that we've been sleeping on a lot of things and we need to wake up. Stop worshiping the little gods and learn who the Most High God is. That's real spill. So, is America just a corporation? Some would say America was built by Freemasonry, in which Freemasonry they would say is the worship of Egyptian deities and gods, and that America was this corporation that is not necessarily a country like other countries. It's actually a corporation that's based on monetary value and capitalism. Basically the little brother or the little sister of England, and it has been used to become a superpower to bring all of the other countries in to revere it. Is America a corporation? Your court systems, all of your businesses, all of the manufacturing jobs, all the different things that we have in America. Is it just a business? Is it just a corporation? Are we just numbers and employees who live and die? And do they take out insurance policies on our social security numbers as when we're born? That is a deep question. Some would say yes, some would say no. I would say do your research and come up with your own conclusions, because there are a lot of things that lean towards the way of it being a corporation, and there are some things that lean away from it being a corporation. I'm not going to tell you how to think. I'm going to tell you to do your own research and come up with your own conclusion. America is definitely about money. I will say that. America is a money-based country. Money is status. Whether what color you are, classism is real in America, which will bring me to my next point. Is money the god of America? When you see presidents get sworn in, when you see us sing these national anthems and all these things, and they use the word under God, indivisible, and all these things that they use, are they talking about money? Are they talking about deities? Are they talking about someone other than the Most High God, the creator of all? It's definitely a possibility. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at America. As much as I can say I hate America, is the same way I love America. I would rather be here than any other place, because that's where the Most High God put me to fight my battles. So I was destined to be here. But is money the God? You see entertainers who will get Grammys. You see actors who will get Oscars for the most demonic roles on earth. And who do they thank? They thank God. But Satan can be a god. Money can be a god. Vanity can be a god. The Oscar is actually a god. Go look it up. It's a deity. So have we been tricked? Have we been bamboozled into thinking that they are talking about the Most High God, the creator of all, but in actuality, they're talking about another God? And we go along with it because we don't know and we don't do research? It's definitely a possibility. Ask yourself that question. Is money the god of America? We're moving on. Was America at its best when oppression and slavery were the norm? I'm going to say that again. Was America at its best when oppression and slavery were the norm? America is crumbling. People don't want to admit it. They don't want to say it. They don't want to speak it. They don't want to admit it. It's like put it out of our mind, out of sight, out of mind. America was thriving off the backs of not just African Americans, but Asian Americans, Mexican Americans, and a host of others, Native Americans. We, the minorities, who they consider minorities, have built this country. So I do believe that when slavery was the norm, when oppression was the norm, when we were considered 3/5 of a person, they were able to thrive harder than they ever were. That's how this country was built, because we weren't considered men. We were considered cattle. We would be no more than a dog or a cow or a sheep. We had a use. You know, a sheep could be used for wool. It could be used for food. You know, it could be used for breeding. Whatever we were being used for, that's what it was. So justifying slavery was easy when you felt like you weren't enslaving men. Who built the railroads? Go look it up. Who has done all of the agriculture? Go look it up. You will start to see that America was thriving when we were here and we were enslaved and we were oppressed. I'm not saying that it's gone. What I'm saying is that America is crumbling right before your eyes because judgment is at hand. Judgment is at hand, and people are starting to wake up and realize that you are only thriving. America is only thriving because we held it up. It's standing on our shoulders. So I definitely believe that America was thriving when that was the norm. They are not thriving. They are not once the superpower that they were when they were able to oppress people out in the open. Moving on. Is America the new Egypt? Deuteronomy. You will go into Egypt again in ships. You will serve the gods of them and not the ones of your father. Many people believe that America is the new Egypt. Some don't, some do. Many people believe that the black people, the African American people, are the real Jews or the Hebrews. Some don't. The byword. Some believe that the byword is, excuse my language, nigga. Comes from the word Niger. So you look on the back of a dollar bill, there's a pyramid with the all-seeing eye, Horus, Satan, whatever you want to say. It's very fishy. So if it's not the new Egypt, it definitely dresses like Egypt, talks like Egypt, and walks like Egypt. And then when you correlate the Freemasonry founding America based on Egyptian deity worship, it correlates it a little more even. But like I said, I leave these things up to you. I want you to do research. I ask questions. I want you to research on your own to come up with your own conclusion about these things. But it's definitely fishy. Is America the new Egypt? I want you to be the judge of that. There's definitely some similarities. There's definitely some things that raise your eyebrow. And there's no other people who came to a place in ships being slaves that worshiped the gods that they didn't know. We're going to move on. I told you this is part 1. We're going to get deeper, so don't think I'm leaving you. Why do we have so much crime, abortion, drug overdoses, and mental health cases? Why do we have so much crime, abortion, drug overdoses, and mental health cases? America is full of crime. White on white crime, black on black crime, Asian on Asian crime. Don't act like you don't know. We're filled with crime. Most crime is based on a I want it now system with the glitz and glamour in your eyes to say I want it now, but I won't work for it. I see a Rolex, I want it. I see a Jeep Cherokee, I want it, but I don't want to work for it because the way that America was set up is so hard to be able to afford that car or that watch. You see a billboard with a Rolex. Behind that, you see a billboard with a lawyer saying, do you need a defense lawyer? Because they know you're going to go out, and rob somebody for that Rolex, you're going to go to jail. They're going to represent you and they're going to get the money. Abortion. Look up a lady named Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood. Look up the disproportionate numbers on how many black women abort babies as opposed to others. Just go look it up. I'm not even going to get into it. I know people get sensitive over that subject. Abortion is big. Since the 80s, 60, 70, 80 million babies aborted. We just going to leave it at that. Drug overdoses. Crack flooded the hood in the 80s. Vietnam brought some things back. In this time now that we live in, we have not just white people, black people, but the Bible says when you put the curses on my people, the curses will then come back on you. So you flood the neighborhood with crack. In tune, America starts the epidemic of being cracked out. You start to try to give them heroin and pills, and then in turn, your sons and daughters are the ones strung out on heroin and pills. And then it stops being a war on poverty. It stops being a war on drugs, and it starts being, oh, they have a sickness. They need help. When it's your sons and daughters, it's a sickness and they need help. When it's our sons and daughters, it's a war on it. So we'll just leave it at that. Mental health cases. To me, this is a spiritual thing. Some people it may not be, but I definitely believe that this is a spiritual thing. It starts as a seed and it grows and it grows and it grows until the tree gets so big that you can't chop it down. But we have so many mental health cases in America now because social media is big. Just the core of how we live is very, we don't process things, and so many things come at us so many different times. So children are not able to process things as fast as things are coming at them. Grown people are dealing with inflation and bills and relationships and all of these layers and never getting therapy, never being fixed. And we live our lives and these spirits pounce on us daily. And then when we try to get away from them, they come back sevenfold. So to me, this is a spiritual thing. I don't think it is for most people, but that's how I look at it. So there's so many cases because the money is in the fixing and not the cure. The money is in the therapists. The money is in the drugs, the pharmaceutical companies. It's not in actually fixing people so they can go out and live their lives. And I'm going to keep that short, but we're really going to get into that next time. It's going to bring us to this next point. Why don't we have cures, only quick fixes? Money. That's why. Money is not in the cure. Money is in the quick fix. Look up Dr. Sebi. They took him to court when he was curing people of AIDS and all that other stuff. I don't want to get too far in it because I don't know all of it, but he was curing people. They took him to court and was like, nah, you're not doing this stuff. But in actuality, they know he's on to something. So they may have a cure for AIDS. They may have a cure for HIV. They may have a cure for diabetes. They may have a cure for all the diseases and different things that we deal with on a daily basis in our lives that have killed plenty of people. But the money isn't in the cure. If you cure everyone, then you don't have money. But if you quick fix everyone, the money keeps coming. That's just a little nugget. We're going to move on. America has more idols than any other country. I could sit here for 30 minutes and name off everybody. Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, Dave Chappelle, Ludacris, Tyrese, Paul, you can keep going on and on. Vin Diesel, The Rock, Johnson, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, it never ends. Shania Twain, Blake Shelton, Gwen Stefani, idols upon idols upon idols upon idols. America has more idols than any other country. We idolize these people. We have idols. For some reason, America is the place of idols. We got their posters on our walls. We buy every ticket to the show. We download every song they make. We buy their t-shirts. We buy their merch. We are obsessed. We are an obsessive, stalking country where when we love someone, When we see him, we cry and scream and, Michael Jackson. Oh, we go crazy. Rihanna. Oh, we go crazy. We have more idols than any other country. That should tell you something. We have a show called American Idol, which chews them up and spits them out and you never see them again. But they making millions on top of millions. We're going to move on. I told you this is just part one. We ain't going to get too deep, but we going to show you some stuff. Is it possible to worship demons and serve God? I'm going to leave on this one. Is it possible to worship demons and serve God? Is it possible to worship Satan and serve God? No. In my opinion, no. You can't worship the demonic things and still serve God. You got one side of the fence and the other side of the fence. That's just how it works. You can't be on both sides. You can't serve two masters. You can't be over here talking about the demonic and living the demonic way and then being over here and claiming that you worship the Most High. I'm not saying that you don't sin. I'm not saying that you don't mess up. I'm not saying that you don't have your days. None of us are perfect. I don't want you to get it twisted. People who say they're perfect, they're lying. It's not about being perfect. What I'm saying is you can't serve two masters. It's not possible. The way the world is set up, the way my checking and my savings is set up, you can't serve this one and this one. You can't worship this one and that one. It doesn't work because they clash. The Most High God says, love me or love the world. Satan says, love the world or love the Most High. You can't serve two masters, people. You have to think about, who am I serving? Who am I worshiping? And is it lining up? A lot of us think that we are worshiping the Most High God, but we are not. We are actually worshiping the demons. So in your life, I want you to go and evaluate yourself. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm not saying that you don't sin. I'm not saying that you're not saved. What I'm saying is evaluate yourself and see, who am I worshiping? What lines up with what? And that's how you come up with your conclusion. To the next time, it's your boy Hally. It's Gvg Podcast. We're going to have part 2 coming shortly. I hope y'all tune in. I love all of y'all. It's no us without y'all. It's Gvg. We out.
Thank you for being a part of this experience. Gvg appreciates every single one of you. I hope you came away from this video with a little more perspective, patience, understanding, and purpose. So until next time, we on Christ time.